Thank you. My name is Shelley Hines. I'm an Albert Einstein Distinguished Educator Fellow, and I teach physics and astronomy at the Louisiana School for Math, Science, and the Arts. So I'm glad to see you here today, Dr. Noel. My school is unique. It's a 3-year residential state-supported high school, and teachers are certified by our board, which is endowed by the state. So I am not a certified teacher in the traditional sense. I have an advanced degree in physics, however, that's what certifies me. However, if I wanted to teach at a regular high school, I would require additional licensure. As someone with an advanced degree in physics, why would I go through that? When I could teach at a university with the current licensure that I have, my degree in physics. So I was wondering if you see that as a problem. If not, comment. If you do, how do we fix it? And also, I wanted to address Dr. Noel's statement. There are education service centers all through Louisiana, and I'm really not sure what they're meant to do, but I'm thinking that maybe that was one of their purposes. Thank you.
Thing for them to do.
So licensure was brought up earlier, and what these 5 folks have described is really a comprehensive system from what we have to know about teaching and we agree on, and then various ways and mechanisms to make sure that that happens. What's the role of licensure in that system?
I think that right now you're describing the system of licensure as it is, so I can understand your question. However, I don't think that we want, for the reasons we heard earlier today, for it to be possible for people with all due respect with degrees in mathematics or physics to enter classrooms directly without establishing that they're capable of doing the work of teaching children. As a person who teaches both in higher ed and has spent a lot of time teaching elementary school, the skills involved in teaching elementary school are not things I would have made up simply on my college academic training. And we know that from research. We know there's a difference between knowing physics as a physicist and knowing it well enough to teach children. So your comment, I assume, points to the fact that the current licensure system wouldn't actually ensure that you could perform the things that would be necessary to teach high school physics. And if the licensure requirements actually were tied to performance assessments of that capability, then I think it would be reasonable to require that of you.
Exactly.
But they also discourage people like me from going into a high school classroom. And I'm really speaking just of high school.
Well, I don't actually think, I think there's pretty good evidence that I'll speak of mathematics, which I know better. There is pretty good evidence that having a degree in mathematics and entering the high school classroom doesn't even remotely equip you or a person to teach mathematics to children for many reasons I could go into. So while on one hand, I'm certainly in favor of people knowing subject matter well enough to teach it, it's not equivalent to the advanced degree in those academic disciplines. So we need to be clearer about how being excellent and having high attainment in physics then needs to be additionally supported in order to be prepared to teach.
Well, yeah, but let me quibble with you a little bit, because we know that teachers who have advanced degree in mathematics are more likely to be effective than teachers who don't have advanced.
No,
that's the only area there is research to show that people with master's degree in their field in mathematics.
The National Math Advisory Panel report. That's the one thing we actually were able to establish that it doesn't.
Well, I mean, I can point to you. It's only. I'm not saying there's extensive research. I'm saying that's the only research that has. No.
All right, we'll talk later.
So.
I'm totally for subject matter knowledge. So
yeah, I know you are. So we can talk later. But what you're talking about is, are you going to have to go back into a teacher preparation program that doesn't necessarily add any value to what your ability to do? And you're absolutely right. If you look at a normal curve of performance, teachers who are certified aren't adding to student achievement at any greater level than teachers who aren't certified. But that's the scandal. I mean, that's the problem.
I just have to say, in Louisiana, that's not true.
Exactly. And the
If you look at the contribution to student academic gains of an uncertified, what we call emergency temporary certified person, that's a person with a college degree that in an emergency we scooped up because we didn't have a teacher, and their contribution versus a certified first-year teacher, somebody else who's also new, but there is a big advantage on average, which is not to say that there aren't people who come in, but in our state the data have been very clear and have been clear for some time.
You're talking about teachers who cannot pass a basic licensing test. I'm not talking about emergency certified teachers. I'm talking about looking at a regularly trained teacher and alternatively trained teacher. There's no difference in their performance.
If you're talking about somebody who's been through a program and has been certified, what we find is we have undergraduate programs where at least the student academic gains who are doing quite well, and we have alternative pathways that are doing quite well, and we have places we're struggling in both. Inside that group, there's certainly heterogeneity, but that's different than not certified. All those people are certified is how they got certified varies.
Well, I think the point here, though, that's important to remember is these ideas about what teachers can do is not about how they were trained to do that and whether it's inside a university or not. It's about what they can do. And I would assume that our physics teacher here, if she could take a performance assessment and do the things that a teacher ought to be able to do to teach in that context, you get a license, right? You shouldn't have to go back and
And that's
do
where we're
all that.
headed.
So-
That's not where we are.
Right.
Right, that's
And
not
just
where we are.
as
That's
a
exactly right.
quick plug,